Hello? Testing, testing. Echo? Wait, do I have an echo? Oh, or were you just saying echo like you're a cartoon character in a large cave? Okay. Wait. Okay, hang on. Snaz, can you just check something for me? Can you hear the volume fluctuating? Like, is the volume fluctuating wildly? Oh. Like the background music volume. Oh, I mean, it's okay. It's not a big deal. It's just, I realized I've been, okay. Just let me know when you're on your laptop or anything. I'm sorry. I am losing my mind a little with this endlessly repeating music. Sorry, I feel, I know you like, oh, friend time and stuff, but I always feel like an asshole, just calling you, like, every Saturday, like, hey, please, come watch me fail at technology for hours. Alright. What do you mean? Sorry, I haven't... Well, yeah, the music is, like, going up and down, but I mean, like, is, like, if I do this, is the volume of the background music going from, like, muted to hilariously loud? Okay. I didn't know if my headphone volume actually affected the stream volume, and I was panicking a little because all of my VODs are like, they're so quiet, and I don't know why. I feel like I have like the volume up. My microphone audio is as high as it can possibly go. I am constantly peaking in the red. And like everyone says my like audio output is fine, but then like whenever I turn it up, it's just like everyone's like, "Oh, like, we can't hear you." But then in the actual VOD, it's like I can barely hear it at maximum volume. So I was just worried, is my headphone volume fucking with it? Anyway, it's nice to see you. Sorry for just like pestering you every Saturday. Dark's been, I don't know, just gone for a while. Rhythm's busy, and I've lost like 3 of my usual people, so it's kind of just you. But I like spiraling. I'm used to it, and it's nice and cozy to be all, oh, I'm awful, I'm doing terrible things. You know, it's familiar. Forgot that you have a distressing power of calling me out. Also, I gave you moderator badge instead of VIP badge because you can apparently only choose one or the other. And since Dark's not here, I don't want you to have to struggle with like the auto mod being like, you cannot call Penelope gay again. Where's the... Hang on, I have the world's most beautiful screenshot on my computer somewhere. Yeah, it's Snazzy Crown used ad permitted term, you are gay. It's right next to my image of Queen Deltrune saying, it means titty. Favorite images, for real, for real. Okay, I've got the game up. I'm just gonna try and switch to the... Intended for certain audiences. Can I read and react in your... No, yeah, you absolutely can. Just be aware that, like, you know, the VOD for this is being saved. But, so, like, careful what you say, but, like, yeah, absolutely. Also, like, my VOD's channel has, like, 5 views it has ever gotten, and like... Okay, hang on, I have a link to the stream Discord I need to add at some point. Where the fuck did my Twitch go? Sorry, my computer is having a lovely time. Okay. It's intended for certain audiences. I don't know how to add like gore and violence to intended for certain audiences, but I think that's more like realistic gore. So let's swap stream. What's the game capture? It captures any full screen application. Alright. Can you see that? Content warning, blood, gore, violence, and strong language. Can you see the Bad End Theater? Oh, fuck. Okay. Capture specific window. Fuck. I can't see my chat overlay. So I'm gonna set this to capture bad end theater. Don't close! Okay. Hang on. Display. Window. Can I change the window size? Yeehaw. Maiden, common victim of abduction or worse. Oh no. How big is the... Oh, it is still... Why doesn't it have a... Oh, fucking hell. Okay, but if I change it... Why doesn't it have a borderless windowed option? Technical... I feel like every stream I do is like 50% technical difficulties. Why would you be small? Why can't I... It's been 24 minutes. Why can't I adjust the screen to a proper size? Okay, Snaz, I'm not sure how much of this you'll understand. I'm not sure how much like screen size is something like you know well, but if it's in full screen, I can't see my little pop-up that shows me when you're talking. It doesn't... Normally, I fix it by setting Windows into borderless windowed, which means it's windowed, but it covers the entire screen, so it's not a full screen application. And I set the game capture to capture the specific application instead of just any full screen application. So typically that's how I get around it. This doesn't have a borderless windowed option. It doesn't have an option to change the window size. However, when I try to manually change the window size by like dragging the little arrows around the size of the window, because it doesn't have a screen size resolution option in here, it changes to preset defaults. So it has preset window defaults, but it doesn't give you an option in-game to switch to them. Anyway, I think the tiny little black bar on the bottom of the screen is something we're gonna have to deal with. Alright. The point is just that this is agonizing, and I don't know why they designed it like this. Okay. Wait, accessibility. I can make it deja vu sans. Agonizing. Deja vu. Yes. Replay of the tutorial. Okay. Also, is the volume okay? Welcome to Bad End Theater. On this stage, we shall be toying with fate. You will make many choices, unlocking darker and darker paths. Deja vu! All in order to witness a lovely variety of tragic events. Okay, I need a voice for this narrative. But first, allow me to explain how it works. To begin the tutorial, select whichever doll you like. You are the demon doll. You control the demon doll. You're a fierce-looking guy, just minding your own business. How will you interact with the human doll? Attack it, wicked, or play nice. You try to make friends with the human doll, but it kills you in cold blood. How ruthless! You found your very first bad ending, but don't worry, the story need not end here. Let's reset the stage and try again. This time, try controlling the other doll. You're the human doll. You control the human doll. You're a friendly little guy, just minding your own business. How will you interact with the demon doll? Play nice. You and the demon doll are able to set aside your differences and become friends. Why, this isn't a bad ending at all. I should have written out this possibility. It's just not suited to my theater whatsoever. Now that you know how the story goes, you can set the doll's behavior in advance. As you just saw, these behaviors will automatically be set to what you chose during your last playthrough, but now you can turn each one on or off without having to replay from that doll's perspective. Yes, my theater actually doubles as a puzzle game. Now try turning the doll's behaviors on and off to see the different outcomes. Let's make the demon doll wicked and choose the human. And attack it. You both attack each other at once and die together. I'm done. Alright. It's the actual game. 0 out of 41 endings. And you can see the little ending trees for each character. Alright. You are the hero, a maiden, an underling, the overlord. Snaz, do you have a pick? I feel like Metaton with like, you know, don't go away, our 9 wonderful, our 8 wonderful viewers. And I've got 1 wonderful view. Overlord for reasons. My dearest Snaz is the reason that you're gay. Yes, can't blame you that. God, I certainly can't blame you that. You're the overlord. You live in a castle surrounded by your demon servants. It's a pretty cushy life, you think? Except for those pesky humans who keep killing members of your army. There's even a role called Hero, whose whole purpose in life is just to dethrone you. That's their deal anyway. You've actually avoided pissing off the humans in hopes they'll leave you and your army alone, but they never do. You're still new to the whole Overlord thing, if you're being quite honest with yourself. You don't really understand the politics of it. But you remind yourself everyone is doing their best to fulfill their roles. You won't let them bait you into being the evil Overlord they expect. You think you're pretty cool and mature to hold yourself to a higher standard like that. One of your underlings walks into the room, totally interrupting your thoughts about how awesome you are. They're saying something about how boring it is to stand in one place guarding the castle all the time, especially since no one ever comes here anyway. Mage ND Demon Queen coded. What? You see their point, but the way they're whining about it kind of bothers you. What to do with this underling? Ooh, tyrant option. Grant them the day off. And tell them to go take a break from the stifling castle atmosphere and refresh their dark soul. A day off should be fine every once in a while. Have you never read that? I don't think I have. Mage and Demon Queen? Yeah. They thank you and happily scurry off to do who knows what. You have nothing better to do today, so you decide to nap for a little while. Being the Overlord sure is great. You awake to a huge commotion outside. A hero has shown up and started totally murdering your soldiers. What the hell, guy? You rush out into the battlefield to confront this jerkwad. You curse at him and very rudely inquire his reasons for doing all this. Mallory, Val, I have no idea who those people are. The hero yells at you, demanding you return the maiden you're holding captive. You don't know what he's talking about, but you can't forgive his actions. You do battle with the hero, but he has grown strong from cutting down your army. You are unable to defeat him. With decisive swings, he stabs and cuts you to pieces. You fall. You have failed your subjects. You spit curses weakly. You wish you'd been stronger. Maybe you were never suited to be the Overlord in the first place. The truth was, you were never that much more powerful than the demons who served you. It was the title, the control that gave you strength. These are your thoughts as you are swallowed by darkness. Conquered Overlord end. Reset the stage. Okay, so the Overlord has the option of Tyrant. And now we can see we've got the Conquered ending. Okay, this is neat. Alright, who next? Let's do one of each before we start trying to knock out everyone's endings. Hero. You are the hero. You like to think of yourself as a pretty reliable and swell guy. Your life has been rather ordinary, aside from all the occasional heroic adventures fighting evil monsters and whatnot. You are told a maiden from your village has been kidnapped and is likely being held captive at the nearby Demon Overlord's castle. Who even puts a village right next to where an entire demon army hangs out? You don't get it. You're happy to protect the townspeople, though. You were born to play this role. You head off on your adventure to rescue the maiden. But demon soldiers block your path. You could kill them to gain experience. Bravely slaughter the evil creatures. Flee like a coward. So the hero's role is dutiful. Huh. Let's try not going with anyone's, roles for the first run of each. Flee like a coward. Forgetting your pride, you escape with your life. But you can't return home now. Your reputation will be ruined. Wonder how you'll ever be able to rescue that maiden on your own if you can't even fight some lousy demon underlings. You'll take your chances at the castle. You're a hero after all. This is your job. After a long trek, you make it to the castle's front gates. You are faced with an army of demons that all look very intimidating. There's no way to sneak past these monsters if you want to reach the Overlord. Dutiful or diplomatic? Cut through the demon army. Ask if they'll let you in. You go up to the nearest demon and explain why you've come here. They stare you down and you feel very uncomfortable. But they seem to trust you and escort you directly to the Overlord's chambers. That was easy. The Overlord is alone. You ask about the maiden, but the Overlord doesn't seem to know what you're talking about. Was she really never here? You wonder what could have happened to her. The Overlord says that she wishes she could help you, but you're the first human that's come here in forever, at least that she knows of. You think of how you probably shouldn't trust her, seeing as she's a demon and all, but you can't really prove she's lying either. You apologize for the intrusion and return home to your village. The maiden was never found. Useless hero end. Okay, so we unlock new behaviors. And we can set them. So I think if we do, hang on. So we got the useless end. Hero behavior is dutiful is how we get conquered, because the hero's murdering the army. If we set the hero to be diplomatic, would that give us a different outcome because the hero wouldn't murder the army? Okay, maiden or underling? This is fascinating! I remember I got it because I watched a bit of a Markiplier playthrough for it, but that was fucking 3 years ago or something, so I remember none of this. Maiden. You are a maiden. You live in a peaceful village next to a spooky demon overlord's castle. I think I remember lesbians, which is why I named the title using my 18 years of theater experience to make lesbians suffer. As one does. Gay, homosexual, gay. You were told that you were fated to be captured by the Overlord one day because you are a beautiful young girl. Demon Overlords apparently love capturing those. You think of how you haven't heard of that actually happening to anyone, but maybe the demons just haven't been given the opportunity? Who knows? You are in church. You pray to your god, asking why you have been born into this role of maiden. You respect the divine plan and all, but you're really just curious as to what the point of it is. You are impatient. Meeting a demon actually sounds pretty gosh darn exciting. Maybe you'd understand your role better if you were just hurry up and get captured already. You leave a note and venture forth to find a demon just to, you know, see what happens. I love her. Not long into your little adventure, a demon underling appears before you. It looks pretty scary. Shout for a hero to come save you. Introduce yourself. You tell the demon your name and explain that you're a maiden from the village. Demon suddenly jumps you and starts biting. A lot. How painful. This plan of yours was completely stupid, you think. Why couldn't you have been more patient? Why did you go looking for trouble? You aren't angry or anything. Of course, this is all your fault for trusting a demon not to devour you on sight. This is your punishment for questioning fate, you guess. Bit by bit, you are swallowed by the demon until you are no more. Consumed maiden. Reset the stage. Immediately eaten by the underling. So we have polite option. I presume then that means if the underling has like a polite option or whatever, then if we go the maiden's route, that won't happen. You are a demon underling in service of the Overlord. You aren't particularly strong, but not particularly weak either. That's what your friends tell you. Your job is to guard the castle and keep humans away. It's unbearably boring. Heroes rarely come all the way here to challenge the Overlord anyway. It's a lot of standing in one place staring into nothing. You feel like you're gonna go crazy if you don't get a break. You decide to ask the Overlord for a day off. She's surprisingly cool with it? Nice! You set out on your adventure outside the castle. The change of atmosphere excites you. You spend some time rolling around in the grass, wild and free. As you make your way along the path to the nearby human village, you encounter a maiden. She seems very frightened and screams for a hero to come save her. Consider your options. Okay, so the underling has the hungry option. Tell her to quit yelling. The maiden realizes you're not going to hurt her. She regains her composure. Now she started talking to you like your friends or something. You don't understand humans at all. You speak the same language, of course, which has always confused you, because why is there conveniently only one language in the world? If demons and humans have independent societies, wouldn't it make sense for them to each have their own language? The maiden is going on and on about some kind of destiny she's trying to fulfill. The bottom line, from what you gather, is that she wants you to take her to the Overlord. Sounds like it could be interesting. Besides, you have nothing better to do. Satisfied with your day out, you take the maiden back to the castle and present her to the Overlord. You seem to be getting along just fine, so you decide it's about time for a nap. You don't get to sleep long. Your friends wake you up. Rude. One of them is stepping on you pretty hard. You ask them what their deal is. They say they're planning a whole revolution. They're going to get rid of the current Overlord and put a new ruler in place. They want to hear if you're in or out. And being a pretty lazy underling, you of course reply with, "That sounds like a lot of trouble. How about we just skip it instead?" Your friends question your loyalty to their cause. Disloyal. So the skull presumably means a path will immediately lead to death. We can, like, tell now when a path will kill you. She's actually not so bad, you guys. Your friends seem pretty disappointed. They apologize to you, but before you can ask what they're sorry about, one of them suddenly seizes you. Someone who's still loyal to the Overlord really has no place in our castle. You understand, right? Their claws tighten around your neck. You don't bother to struggle. You're outnumbered. You already know how things like this end. It's a pretty messed up thing to do to a friend, you tell them. They slit your throat in response. Faithful underling. Dutiful, diplomatic, polite, hungry, disloyal, tyrant. Get involved in the plot. Eat the maiden immediately. Don't scream. Slaughter the demons. Diplomatic, tyrant. Okay. What if I make the hero diplomatic, and then play the Overlord. You're the Overlord. Grant them the day off. You wait to knock on your door. The underling from earlier brought back some company. It's a maiden from the nearby human village. She says her role is to be captured by you. The maiden then goes on to say that she's been getting very impatient thinking... Oh, I accidentally activated the backlog. Fuck. The maiden then goes on to say that she's been getting very impatient thinking about her impending capture, so she's come here to speed things along. You appreciate her honesty, but regret to inform you never had any plans to capture any humans. She seems very disappointed by this. Perhaps I'm not performing my role well enough. How can I become more maiden-like? You don't really understand the question. I think this world puts way too much focus on destiny and junk. Just go home and stop worrying about it, you tell her. The maiden seems to be having a hard time wrapping her head around this. She insists that she stay and talk to you more. You feel warm inside as she looks into your eyes. This is the first time a human has looked at you without contempt. Gay, gay, homosexual, gay. Wonder what to say. Oh, so we have the antisocial behavior. Tell her she better go home. Let her stay for a while. You can't bring yourself to send this maiden away. She just got here. You enjoy a nice long chat with her, sharing stories about your kind. She expresses her surprise that demons are not all what she expected them to be. You're glad that she seems to have an open mind about these kind of things. You also bring up how you always instruct your army to avoid humans as not to agitate them and get heroes sent out after you. That explains why the people in my village have been left unharmed. It's because of your orders, isn't it? We're very grateful. You're surprised to hear her thank you. I always thought of humans to be violent and unreasonable. That's why your servants are always getting killed despite your efforts to leave them alone. But this maiden is different. You joke that maybe you've been lying to her this whole time and you are actually super evil all along. The maiden laughs at that, saying she wouldn't mind being held captive here. The people in her village are a little exhausting at times, she says. You can't tell if she's into you or not! You're interrupted by another human in your doorway. This time it's a hero. He was apparently searching for the maiden, who was rumored to have been captured by your kind. Captured? Not at all. I only wanted to meet with the Overlord. Didn't anyone read the note I left behind? After everything is explained, the hero expresses his relief that this whole misunderstanding hadn't led to any horrible consequences. Okay, because we made the underling not hungry, they brought the maiden back. And the hero is diplomatic. But I think that means the underling is still going to have their throat slit, and the other demons are gonna still lead the revolution. Huh. Okay, I have to puzzle this out to try and get a good ending. I like this. The maiden apologizes for causing trouble, and the hero asks her to return to the village with him. Confusing feelings well up inside your heart. You're surprised that you had one of those to begin with. You don't want the hero to take this maiden away from you. Keep her here possessive. There's a possessive option, and it ends with death. We gotta choose that. Just knock out the endings. The maiden came here to be captured by you, didn't she? You'll grant her wish. You tell the hero you won't let him take her home. The maiden assures you she'll be back, but you don't budge. The hero is cautious now. If you won't let her go, maybe you demons are evil after all. And if you are, I'll be forced to vanquish you. You have no choice. You destroy the hero before he can steal your maiden away. She's frightened. You don't understand why. Didn't she say she prefers this place to her village? Now she doesn't have to leave. You take a step toward the maiden and she backs herself into a corner. You don't understand. She wanted to stay here with you. The hero was trying to get in the way of that. You had to kill him. You'll be sure to keep this maiden very safe from now on. Selfish Overlord end. Oh, jeez. Okay, possessive option. Yandere. Yeah. None of these four are bad people, but the demons have a very different moral set than the humans. Because the hero's behavior is diplomatic. I wonder if the hero's still dutiful, but the underling isn't hungry. Let's try that, because then the hero will slaughter all the demons, but then... Whoopsie, the overlord's actually fine. So the hero's dutiful, but the underling isn't hungry. Also, I have skip. How do I... Is there just a thing to just, like, skip scene text? Oh! Yeah, okay, it's control. I can just hold control to skip through. That'll make this a lot easier. Grant them the day off. Go take a break, refresh their dark souls. You wake to a knock on your door. It's a maiden. She says that she stay. You feel warm. Let her stay for a while. This maiden is different. You've been lying. Alright, you're still normal about the overlord. Okay, here we go. So, maiden is here just like last time, but now you notice the sounds of battle have started ringing outside your castle halls. Hi, Rhythm. Maiden is getting nervous, but you reassure her it's only your underlings roughhousing, no big deal. You know it's probably a hero, but you don't want to upset the maiden by telling her that your army will take care of it. It isn't long before the hero bursts into your room. He shouldn't have made it here. Why didn't they stop him? The hero just stands there unsure of himself. He's covered in demon blood. As the maiden speaks to him, trying to explain the situation, you move past the hero and out the door. You're not thinking clearly. Seeing your servants' bodies in pieces all strewn about your castle has really taken it out of you. That hero did this. There's so much blood. Why? Did he come for the maiden? Did he think she needed rescuing? There was no one for this hero to save here. There was never any harm meant to anyone. You were just talking to her. Why has it turned out like this? The hero starts babbling insincere apologies and excuses, realizing his wrongdoing, but you are beyond hearing that kind of bullshit. You've had it with these humans always murdering your servants for no reason. You can no longer hold yourself back and lash out at the hero. When you regain control, there is nothing left of the hero. The maiden has fled in terror. You are alone. Wrathful overlord. Still normal about the overlord. How are y'all doing? Overlord, 3 out of 10 endings. So the underling has the least endings. Okay, so... Okay, so the overlord keeps the maiden all to herself. However, the maiden is allowed to stay in chat. And the hero's dutiful, then I get the wrathful end. Okay, let's be someone other than the overlord this time. But... Okay, bad end is useless. Overlord, okay. So, dutiful, but the underling is hungry. So the underling eats the maiden. Bravely slaughter the evil creatures. Make quick work of the vile creatures who stood in your way. Feel much stronger now. After a long trek, you make it to the castle's front gates. Cut through the demon army. You gather your courage. This is what must be done in order to rescue the maiden. These are all evil demons anyway. The world is much safer with them gone. That's what you tell yourself while you kill one after another on your way to the Overlord's chambers. The Overlord appears, demanding to know what the hell you're doing murdering all her soldiers. You get straight to the point and ask her where the maiden is. She feigns ignorance, a convincing act, but you won't be fooled. If the maiden isn't here, then what happened to her? You can see only one answer. The Overlord definitely captured her. In fact, it's possible she's already been devoured. Thinking about that poor maiden's fate fills you with hatred. You fight the Overlord with everything you've got. You become strong from the hordes of demons you took down before this final battle. The Overlord is almost no match for you. You cut her to pieces. The Overlord has fallen. You breathe a sigh of relief, but your job is not yet finished. You search the castle. Unfortunately, you find no sign of the maiden within its walls. It's just as you suspected, she must have already been devoured. You feel hollow. A great evil has been banished from this world, but what does that matter if you were too weak to save someone? You stand alone amidst the carnage and ponder what it means to be a hero. You return to the Overlord's remains and wrap her head in your cape to bring back to the village. Surely your great victory will be celebrated. Failed hero. So that is the hero's version of the Overlord's conquered. Is the failed. Okay. So then there's also the hero's version of the possessive ending. Where the Overlord kills the hero, but let's knock that out. So the underling isn't hungry, the hero is diplomatic, but the Overlord is possessive. This is fun. Hi, y'all. An hour already. It is, yay. Alright. Possessive Overlord, not hungry underling. Okay, but the maiden still scream. Is there something that happens if I make the maiden? I'll test that out next time for the maiden herself. I like the little blorbos. Okay. So we're gonna flee like a coward. Ask if they let you in. The Overlord and maiden seem to be in the middle of some casual conversation when you barge in. You'll look at each other in surprise and confusion. This is no time to hesitate. Okay, there's a heroic option of destroy the Overlord. But, okay, that's a new one. It immediately leads to a death, though, or to an end. So I'll have to try that. You lunge forward, driving your blade through the evil Overlord. She screams, then falls silent. The Overlord has been slain. You smile, offering the maiden your hand. She takes it after slight hesitation. She must be surprised at how strong you are. You escort the maiden home. She's oddly quiet on the trek back to the village. She must be too shy to speak. The villagers are very pleased with what a good job you've done, slaying the Overlord and saving a hostage. They throw a huge celebration in your name. You're remembered for generations as the greatest hero the village has ever seen. Triumphant. That should be a good ending by the hero standards, but we know that's not the case. Whoa, my cursor just went triumphant. Okay, so if instead we don't try to slay the Overlord, if instead the Overlord's just possessive. Yeah, actually, wait, let's see if that has an, yeah, so consume. Okay, so if the hero behavior is heroic, so that means it doesn't matter what the Overlord is, as long as she's not a tyrant or antisocial. But the hero is diplomatic and heroic. Do those even go together? And the underling isn't hungry. Oh yeah, and feel free to suggest things. I like that. It's a lot to get through here. Told to be fated to be captured by the Overlord one day, blah blah blah. Introduce myself instead of shouting. You tell the demon your name and explain you're a maiden from the village. Tell him you were thinking maybe you could understand your role better if you were to hurry up and get taken away by a demon already. The demon doesn't seem to have really been listening to you, which is a little irritating. They agree to take you to their master nonetheless. After a long walk to the castle, you are introduced to the Overlord. You explain why you've come, and she squints at you. Turns out she never had any plans to capture maidens or to do anything else that would agitate the humans. I guess we also actually we only saw even them meeting up from the Overlord's perspective, not the maidens. I wonder for a moment if she might be lying, but it doesn't really seem like it. Still, this doesn't make any sense to you. You've always been told that demons would one day seek you out and something awful would happen. Then a hero would come to your rescue. You don't want to believe you've been lied to all along. Maybe it's just you haven't been maiden-like enough. Ask the Overlord what you should do to be a more suitable maiden, but she doesn't seem to understand. Just go home and stop worrying about destiny so much. She makes it sound so simple. This Overlord seems like the complete opposite of you. You want to learn more about her and how she thinks. You insist on staying to talk with her more. The Overlord shares many stories about demons with you, and little by little you realize they might not be the ruthless monsters you were raised to believe. As it turns out, she commanded her demons to avoid towns and villages. She didn't want to risk giving the humans any excuse to send a hero out after them. You realize that must be why you've never heard of any demons attacking your town. You express your gratitude to the Overlord on behalf of your village. She says you can thank her by telling the humans to stop raising heroes. She's tired of her servants getting killed off by them. I always thought demons are violent and unreasonable creatures, but it seems the Overlord could say the same of humans. You may be different, but really they're just trying to live their lives the same as you. You feel like you're starting to understand things a lot better. Maybe everything I've said was to deceive you, and the other humans. What would you do if I turned out to be super evil all along? Even if she were to capture you now, you think this place is far more interesting than the way things are back home. You kind of like not being told to expect demons to come after you all the time. You feel free. Honestly, you've always kept to yourself, but spending time with this Overlord has been very nice. You feel butterflies in your stomach. As you think that, a hero enters the room. The hero suddenly dashes toward the Overlord's sword drawn. The maiden has a martyr ending. To die instead of the Overlord. Okay, let's do nothing like you suggested to see that same ending from the maiden's POV, but then let's martyr. The hero's blade pierces the Overlord. She lets out a horrible scream. You flinch. The Overlord is slain. The hero smiles and holds out his hand to you, saying it's time to go home. His glove is drenched in blood. Hesitantly, you take his hand. The hero guides you through the castle past the corpses of his enemies. You try to keep your eyes at your feet. Okay, so the hero was like smiling in the hero's point of view, and the maiden was just like blank-faced. Here the hero is blank-faced, and the maiden is just like empty. Blank eyes. There's blood everywhere. You shut your eyes, but even then you can't escape the smell. All of this was because of you, wasn't it? You exit the castle and the hero leads you back to the village. Everyone celebrates the hero's great triumph over the demons. You feel sick, but you take part in the festivities regardless. Complacent maiden. So we shall be polite again, heroic and diplomatic. Martyr. Introduce yourself. Okay. Same timeline, martyr ending. It's so cool. You selflessly throw yourself in front of the hero's blade, acting as a shield. It's funny, you think. You never could have imagined this would be the way that you die. The roles are all switched around, but it feels right to you somehow. You are glad your destiny turned out to be saving someone rather than being saved yourself. As your vision fades, you hope that everything turns out all right for your new friend. Sacrificial maiden. If the maiden has a martyr ending, the Overlord has an ending now based on the martyr. And the hero has an ending now based on the martyr. The underling is still the one most unconnected, but that's just because the underling has a different chain with, like, the demons then rising up. So presumably, if we can finagle this so the Overlord, the maiden, and the hero are all fine, then the issue of the underling comes in. So it's like we had to figure out, like, Overlord, maiden, and now we have to figure out the hero in there. Do you want to hash out that? I want to see what happens to both the Overlord and the hero when the maiden martyrs. So the maiden is polite and martyrs. The underling is not hungry. We're the hero. Flee. Ask if they'll let you in. So, I think we try to destroy the Overlord this time, but the Maiden's gonna jump in front of us. You lunge forward to put an end to the evil Overlord, but your blade pierces the Maiden instead. She has sacrificed herself to protect this demon. It takes you a moment to recover from the shock. The Overlord wails. Why did you do that? You're not sure if the question is directed at you. The Overlord strikes at you in a vengeful rage. You parry and she is slain. Your sword feels heavy. You look at your hands, your clothes. Blood. So much blood. You look to the fallen maiden, wondering what to tell the townspeople. Why would she protect the Overlord? She must have been brainwashed by demonic magic. You pick up the Overlord's head, wrapping it in your cape, and begin your long journey back to town. You will say that you were too late, that nothing could be done for the girl, but the Overlord is slain. There will be celebration. Loyal hero. Okay. Slays the Overlord, but cannot save the maiden. Not gonna lie, fuck the hero. Yeah, kinda. Don't give up. Surely there's a good ending somewhere. The hero has a good heart, but is very prone to miscommunication. And is like... the hero is prone to miscommunication and is very brainwashed by like the town's like, you must be the hero, your purpose is to kill. Ominous flavor text. The maiden is rebellious. By that, the Overlord's actively going against the trope she's assigned, and the underling is just lazy. Oh wait, yeah, you can see with the Overlord there's all this stuff with hero and maiden, but then there's like big chunks of underling around, so presumably this is more like uprising. Okay. Maiden is polite, maiden martyrs, the hero is diplomatic, and the hero tries to kill the Overlord. Overlord run for the maiden to die to save her, and then for her to be killed by hero. Let's go. For Lord, grant them the day off. Let her stay for a while. For even know how to react, he makes his move, and the maiden makes hers. She's used her own body to shield you from the hero's blade. Why? Why has this happened? The maiden falls to the floor lifeless as the pool of blood beneath her grows, so does your rage. This hero has taken something precious from this world. You lose control. And the hero is obliterated. But your hatred for the humans has not yet been sated. You go on to destroy them all and become ruler of the entire world. Vengeful Overlord NB. Okay. So playing that... okay, so it can change from person to person. From the hero... So what the hero did is the hero just killed the Overlord. But when playing as the Overlord killed the hero. Vengeful. Because we didn't actually play the Overlord's death from the Overlord's heroic death from the Overlord's point of ending. There's a gap here. Maybe that's Vengeful A, or... because we played it from the maidens, but then we got distracted by Martyr. So, Overlord heroic, but the maiden is complacent. Grant them the day off, let her stay for a while. Can't tell if she's... He suddenly strikes, cutting through you with his blade. He didn't even hesitate. You've gone soft. How could you have let your guard down like that? How unfair. After all you've done to avoid this outcome, you can't outrun your destiny. The hero always slays the overlord. You should never have trusted a human. You watch as the hero escorts the maiden out of your castle. Captured by a demon. At least she got what she came here for. You join your army in eternal slumber. Slain overlord. Okay. Stabbed in the back by the hero. Okay, did we play the selfish ending from everyone else, or did we get distracted by Martyr? Possessive. No, we didn't do the possessive from other people's views. Okay, so the overlord is possessive. The maiden is polite. The hero is not heroic. Flee like a coward. Ask if they'll let you in. Instead of destroy the overlord, now we ask the maiden what's going on. The maiden explains that she was never actually captured and that she came here on her own volition. That was a pretty dangerous thing of her to do, but no one got hurt, so at least there's that. Ask her to return to town with you to reassure everyone of her safety. But the overlord objects to this. The maiden tries to tell her that she'll come right back, but the overlord refuses to hear it. The maiden seems nervous. As a hero, it's your job to mediate situations like these. You tell the overlord if she doesn't let the two of you go, you'll have to assume she's evil. You'll be forced to vanquish her. You leave me no choice. The overlord pauses before suddenly jumping you. You are helpless as she disembowels you with her claws. How horrible. You came all this way, only to be met with this cruel fate. You should have destroyed these evil creatures while you had the chance. Your dying wish is for the maiden to somehow make it out of this alive. Naive hero. 14 out of 41. We haven't gone back to the underling, but that's just because I feel like there's like a clear order we're seeing throughout these. The hero finds... Oh! If we're dutiful, but then we apologize, that's an ending we haven't seen. Okay, but what about if the maiden... The maiden's possessive path has two endings. Because if the overlord kills the hero and keeps the maiden, then depending on if the underling is disloyal or not, there's like a revolution, right? Okay, so now you can see at like the ends of these paths, there's the disloyal. Okay, so overlord is possessive, maiden is polite, the hero is diplomatic. Introduce yourself. Hero enters the room. You're surprised to see him at first until you realize he must have been sent to retrieve you. Confused, the hero asks you what's going on. You explain the situation, reassuring him that you are never in any danger. The hero expresses his relief that this whole misunderstanding hasn't led to any horrible consequences. You apologize for causing trouble, but really, didn't anyone read the note you left? Jeez. The hero asks if you'll return to the village with him to give everyone the news of your safety. But the overlord objects to the hero's suggestion. You tell her you plan on returning soon, but she isn't having it. You feel nervous. The hero puts on a brave face for you. If you won't let her go, maybe you demons are evil after all, you leave me no choice. The overlord suddenly jumps the hero, she tears into him with her claws. You want to cry out, but the scream catches in your throat. You watch because you can't look away. Had she really been lying to you all along? You wonder, is this your punishment for questioning the divine plan? The overlord approaches you now. You back yourself into a corner. Her expression is complicated. Being captured by the overlord in a horrible way like this was your destiny after all. She vows to keep you very safe from now on. You're afraid to find out what that means, but there's no one left to save you. You belong to the Overlord now. Captured maiden and A. The maiden becomes property of the Overlord. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to say anything. Snaz, you're thinking what I'm thinking. I don't want to say anything. Thank you, Snaz. Thank you. Okay. So that's... Okay, but now that same route, but if the underling is disloyal. There's a slightly different ending. Introduce yourself. But the Overlord stops. Or rather, someone has stopped her. After killing the hero. Whatever held back your scream before doesn't stop you this time. The Overlord is being ripped to shreds by one of her demon underlings. You think you recognize them, but it's hard to tell with all the blood. Our underling is the one who kills the Overlord. So if the underling is disloyal, our underling is presumably then the one that kills the Overlord. It's hard to tell with all the blood. Everyone stop moving now. The room is silent, save for the underling's heavy breathing. You thank them for what they've done. Even though it was awful, you feel you've been rescued from a terrible fate. They look at you confused for a moment, but then puff out their chest. You should probably go home. This place is dangerous. You follow their advice and make your way out of the castle. You decide never to leave home again for the rest of your life. Escaped maiden and B. So presumably the A and B are for those slightly different paths. I guess. Okay. So we've knocked out the entire block of the Overlord letting the maiden to stay and chat. Oh! There's also... Wait, why are some of the lines not colored? Oh! For lines that still, like, connect up with things that I've seen but aren't colored, those are things we haven't seen in this person's perspective. So, like, we've seen the maiden be polite, but only from the maiden's perspective. I think is what that means, yeah. So, if the underling is... If the Overlord's a tyrant, the underling's disloyal and eats the maiden, there's an ending there, but also if the hero's dutiful. So the underling has a path for possessive. I say we run that with the maiden being polite, and then choose the disloyal path for possessive. Welcome back. Are you pleased with your progress so far? 16 out of 4. We got 1 out of 9. We got half of the hero and maiden and Overlord. So the underling, it doesn't matter. The hero's diplomatic, the maiden is polite, the Overlord is possessive, underling path, we're gonna be disloyal. Your demon underling. She greets you and says she has a favor to ask. You consider your options. Gobble her up or hear her out. I guess we also haven't eaten her from our perspective, but we'll do that another time. You're in a good mood today and are rather curious about what the maiden has to say. My throat is dry. Humans don't usually talk to you, so this is kind of exciting. You hadn't guessed it would even be possible to understand each other before now. Main's going on and on about some kind of destiny she's trying to fulfill. The bottom line from what you gather, she wants you to take her to the Overlord. Alright, you already did all that. Now let's be disloyal. Okay, let's kill the Overlord. You tell them you were just joking, and clarify that you're totally in it to win it. They say you were always terrible with jokes. Whether or not you actually feel like killing the Overlord, you know how bad it would be to end up on the wrong side of things. And if this assassination deal doesn't pan out, you can always pretend you were innocent all along. But beneath your shield of faux confidence, you worry about what you're getting yourself dragged into. You follow your friends outside the castle to talk more about the plan. You're curious if they have any idea how they want to go about this. They figured they'd just lock her in a room and set it on fire. What a stupid plan that could go wrong in so many ways. Okay, so what this implies is if the underling stays loyal and their throat is slit, but the Overlord, the hero, and the maiden are all getting along fine, then the revolution will end with them locking all three of them in a room and setting it on fire. I think what that implies, or if the hero and the maiden leave, then the Overlord will be set on fire. That's still not... That's still not a good end for everyone, though. I know it's called Bad End Theater. I know there must be a way to get a good ending. I know there's some twist here. There has to be. You realize your friends are just a bunch of directionless thugs, useless without someone's guidance. Your guidance. There'd probably be casualties if you fought her head-on, and while showy deaths make a revolution a heck of a lot more fun, it's probably the wrong way to go. Your friends agree and suggest that you play the assassin. You really didn't want it to come down to this. But you can't back down now. You'll have to be the one to assassinate the Overlord. Besides, no one has any better ideas. Yeah, let's look at let's try to find a path where then the other three are fine, but the underling dies. I think they'll get set on fire. You sneak up to the Overlord's room, but there's a couple of humans in there. The Overlord cuts down the hero, approaches the maiden. With the Overlord distracted, you figure this is you launch a sneak attack, getting her right in the back. She flinches, giving you enough advantage to take her down. You rip the Overlord apart until she stops moving. That was messier than you would have liked. The maiden mutters something from the corner. Thank you for saving me. It wasn't your intention, but it sounds like you did something heroic. You tell the maiden to go home. This place is dangerous. She follows your advice and leaves the castle. Your castle. You are the new Overlord. Heroic underling. Yeah, okay, so that's the I think that's every I think that's every possessive end now figured out. And see, that little line is now a bright blue to indicate that we've done it. Antisocial has this massive track, because if the Overlord sends them home, then it's just her against the revolution. Okay, hang on. If the Overlord's a... What if that route no persever? If that route but not possessive? I think... We didn't end up doing that because I saw possessive and immediately was like, God, I want that. Yeah, the Overlord claims the main as her own. I was going to do... Overlord, that's the main hero, go, ooh, that leads down a long path if the underling's disloyal or not. So if the underling is disloyal, that happens, but... I think we get the same if she just lets the hero go. Okay. So... The hero's diplomatic, the main is polite, the underling... Let's leave the underling blank for now, they're gonna get their throat slit. And we aren't possessive, as the Overlord. Grant them the day off, let her stay for a while, let them go. You're certain that she'll return to spend more time with you. You just have to trust in that, you decide. With the hero and maiden god, you plop down into the comfort of your luxurious overlord bed. Your room feels so empty now. Is this loneliness? Aww. You hope your new friend will be back soon. You close your eyes for a while. Until your door slams shut. Before you know it, everything around you is being engulfed by flames. What's going on? Fuck, I was right. If the underling's throat gets slit, then the overlord's set on fire. And if there's a route where the hero and maiden end up staying in there for longer, they'll get set on fire too. If there's a way to get all 4 in there, the revolution will still happen and the room will still get set on. It ends in flames no matter what. There must be a way. What's going on? You try to escape, but something's blocking the door. You're having trouble forcing it open. What is this? Someone didn't want you getting out. Are you being usurped? They have zero foresight. What castle will they rule from if this one burns? You don't want to believe that your underlings have betrayed you, but this is no accident. Those ungrateful bastards. You choke on the thick black smoke from the fire. You can't believe you're being done in by a bunch of cowards. You'll see them in hell. Burned Overlord. Route of polite when hero is disloyal? What do you mean disloyal? Oh, when the underling's disloyal. Dude's disloyal. Yeah, underling. So, the main is polite, the underling's disloyal. Okay. I think if the main's polite but the underling's disloyal, that just leads to... leads to heroic, depending on if the overlord's possessive. I don't think the disloyal changes the polite, but it could happen depending on if the overlord's a tyrant. We've never had the overlord be a tyrant. Let's see. So, where's the burned over... There's an underling option there. Is that because the underling... What? Okay, hang on. So the overlord's path, some of these cross back in on themselves. So the heroes... all of the heroes' top ones, like, only branch, except for, like, a few little things on the bottom. But then the disloyal underling, depending on which side, will always come back to a maiden choice. The maiden sort of spirals in on itself at points. The underlings is a very long straight line with a couple times where it, like, comes back around. The overlords has mostly wide branching paths, but this spot down here tangles in on itself. Okay. So depending on if the hero is... It doesn't matter if the hero's diplomatic or dutiful. If the hero's heroic, it doesn't matter if he's diplomatic or dutiful. Because no matter what, the overlord will be slain, or the overlord will be vengeful, depending on martyr. Okay. Have we done the hero's side of wrathful? No, because that's... Yeah, so... dutiful, but everything's actually fine. The hero apologizes, but oopsie daisy, overlord's pissed. Let's knock that one out. The main is polite. The overlord doesn't matter, but the hero's gonna be dutiful. Slaughter. Cut through the demon army. You find the maiden being held captive by the overlord, just as you suspected. But for some reason you can't sense anything sinister happening. You all look at each other in surprise and confusion. This is no time to hesitate. Oh, okay, so there's a death path here. Destroy the overlord. You lunge forward, driving your blade through the evil overlord. She screams, then falls silent. The Overlord has been slain. Okay, is this the same... Okay, that's the triumphant hero again. Where's... triumphant? Okay, so if we are heroic, then we'll end with triumphant or loyal. So we instead need to ask the maiden what's going on. Dutiful, dutiful, ask the maiden what's going on. She explains that she came here on her own and was never in any danger. She hesitantly asks why you're covered in blood. You don't know how to respond. Oh no. The Overlord moves past you and out the door to see her army in lifeless, bloody piles. She's wailing. It's horrible. This is your chance, hero. If I stab the Overlord while I can, that'll lead me to the same heroic ending. So there's multiple shots to be heroic, but no, this is all just a big misunderstanding. I hope she'll let this whole thing slide if you could just explain yourself. You really try. But the Overlord is inconsolable. She tears you apart, and the maiden watches in silence. As you die, you can't help but think, you probably deserved this. Tragic hero. Yes, you did. Okay, so that is all of those done. Except if everything's fine but the underling's disloyal. Is that's what's gonna get all three of them? No. No, because if the underling's disloyal, they wouldn't set the room on fire. The room setting on fire only happens if the underling's throat is cut. So if the underling's disloyal, the underling is going to burst in and try to kill the Overlord, and then there's a maiden option. Does the maiden have a second martyr option? Huh. Okay. Or can she talk to the guy she was nice to earlier and convince him not to? Who? Okay. Half of those. I don't have many underlings so far. The underling. Oh! Yeah, maybe she can convince them. If she's polite. We haven't done anything of Tyrant. So let's try doing... Oh, wait! The underling brings the maiden to the castle, leads to a bad end, but if we do Tyrant, we'll be like disloyal, which we've seen, but then if we devour the maiden, return to the castle, the hero can be dutiful. That can end in one of two ways. Okay, let's knock out a few underlings, because there's a few quick underlings here, and the underling doesn't have many paths. So... Oh, fuck, what is it again? Doesn't matter if the maiden's polite. The Overlord has to be a tyrant. And we'll make the hero dutiful. Because it doesn't matter if the maiden's polite, because the Overlord's not going to give the underling a day off. Wait, but then... if the maiden never meets the underling, does she just wander into the castle on her own? Okay, so Tyrant Overlord, dutiful hero, we're an underling. Or a demon underling. She gives you an earful about responsibility and unquestioning obedience. You wait for her to finish her lecture before returning to your post. What does she know about anything? Who made her the boss of everyone? You complain about the Overlord to your friends. They agree that she's kind of a snob and totally deserves to be kicked off her throne. You only want to vent your frustrations, but the conversation somehow turned into an assassination plot. We start the plot if the Overlord is a tyrant. You should probably steer this in a responsible direction. Let's overthrow her. You're sick of this overlord holding you and your friends back. You agree it's time for a change in management. Your friends suggest maybe you should be the new overlord. You like the sound of that. You announce your first act of rebellion is to take that day off like you wanted. Your friends aren't very impressed. You assure them you'll talk more about the assassination thing when you get back, which satisfies them. You sneak out of the castle to have some fun. Change of atmosphere. Now let's be hungry. Maidens aren't the best meal, but you figure you should live up to your demon name and strike back against the humans. You start devouring the maiden without so much as a second thought and feel quite proud of that. Other humans would surely praise you with curses if they were around to see. Oh man, if only someone could have been watching. Is there an option where the hero watches? Time to find an audience for your evil deeds. You wander in the nearby village. Oh, the people are screaming and running away, throwing rocks at you and whatnot. I think that's pretty rude of them. You haven't even done anything yet. Covered in blood. Jesus. Put on a show. You attack the nearest human. He's old and weak and his bones crunch delightfully. Your audience's screams grow louder. Applause. You think, hey, this is actually pretty fun. I should have taken revenge like this a lot sooner. As you continue your bloodthirsty dance, striking the villagers down, you fail to notice a sword-wielding hero running toward you. He takes you out in one swift blow. You're just a demon underling, after all. As you die, you think that was totally worth it. Performer underling. Okay, so yeah. If we're disloyal, but then we're hungry. So what if we don't eat her, but then the hero's dutiful, that has... Or depending on if the hero's dutiful or not, that has different ends, or... If we confirm the plan to kill the overlord. Okay, let's try knocking down... Yeah. Dutiful. Let's overthrow her. Tell her to quit yelling. The overlord asks where you found this maiden, knowing full well that you left the castle when you weren't supposed to. You apologize for disobeying her, but hope that the maiden is an interesting enough present that you may be forgiven. The overlord nods and says everything's cool as long as you always listen to her from now on. You're impressed with what an easygoing boss she is. You mention how you can't believe you and your friends even considered overthrowing her. She gives you a look and you say that was just a joke, of course. She smiles and dismisses you. You decide it's about time for a nap. After a few hours of sleep, you're rudely awakened by the sounds of battle. You emerge from your room to find that a hero has slaughtered many of your friends and work associates. What a jerk! Okay, these are the options. Avenge your fallen comrades. Does this guy think he is coming in here and killing everyone like some maniac? What did we ever do to him? You lunge at him while he's busy driving your sword into the guard who sometimes brought you food whenever they noticed you were feeling kinda down. You liked that guard. You wish with all your demon heart for this hero to suffer for his deeds. You bite into him, tearing flesh from bone. It tastes like iron. The hero struggles. You feel his sword go through you, but there is no pain, only retribution. More of your comrades pile onto him as your consciousness fades. The hero is overtaken, your army has won. You've earned your rest. Victorious underling. Let's watch more and more bad endings. Good boy. So instead, we save ourselves. So I think, yeah, this other bad end I think is instead we save ourselves. Gah. Some of these are real confusing. Okay. Hero's dutiful. Overlord's a tyrant. Main's polite. Or no, main's necessarily polite? I don't think that necessarily matters. Alright, hang on. Need a little water. Let's overthrow her. Tell her to quit yelling. Save yourself. You look around at the lifeless forms of those you've known as far back as you can remember. You feel glad to not be in their shoes. I also feel guilty to be thinking that as you flee the castle until you remember your role, not as an underling but as a demon. This kind of thing is expected of you. Maybe you'll start a new life far away from any humans or demons where you'll live peacefully alone in some deep dark forest somewhere. Deserter underling. So we've only got those big 4 left. If we return to the castle but the hero isn't dutiful, and we confirm the plan to kill the Overlord. Gotta try and sit up because my back's aching. Let's overthrow her, tell her to quit yelling. Your friends question your loyalty to their cause. Okay, same thing as last time. Tell them you were just joking. You sneak into the Overlord's room, she's taking a nap. This is almost too easy. You silently approach your master. She looks so peaceful. There's a coward option. You don't want to kill her, you can't go through with it. You turn to leave the room, but you find your friends blocking the exit. In a panicked whisper, you ask them to let you out. This seems to have been their way of testing your loyalty. You tell them this is pretty fucked up and ask again to be let out. I like when games have really, like, well-placed swear words of just like, this is fucked up! The Overlord stirs in her bed. While your head is turned, the demons shut the door. You scramble into the Overlord's closet tie before she wakes up and sees you. You're trembling, you can't believe those assholes would bully you like this, you feel like crying. Light flickers at your feet, they've set the room on fire. You hear the Overlord trying to get the door open, and no avail, you're both trapped. Too afraid to move, you resign yourself to your fate. You and the Overlord burn together. The Overlord is burned alive in her room if the underling's throat is slit. If the underling stays disloyal after they were the one who started the plan, then they just die in the closet. So I think it's the same ending as burn. Yeah, you can see that underling option there is coward. If the underling is disloyal, but not a coward, we'll reach this ending. Die in the closet. Jesus Christ. Let's overthrow her. Tell her to quit yelling. Okay, let's kill the Overlord. Time to die. You figure the cleanest way to do this would be to dig your claws into her throat, so you do just that. She wakes, but not in time to stop you. You watch as she chokes on her blood, cursing you before finally expiring. Hang on, I'm getting text messages. What do you mean, how fucked up is fucked up? Okay, fine, expiring. That felt terrible. You remind yourself it was either her or you, and you weren't about to let yourself be killed by anyone. Leave the room to find your friends waiting just outside. They look pleased, only now do you realize they must have planned to use you like this from the beginning. You're the new ruler of this castle. Your subjects bow before you. You live in fear that they will one day betray you as you had betrayed your Overlord. Lord Underling End B. Okay, so I also reached that path in the same way if the Overlord's antisocial, and then a lot of shit happens there. Okay, I think it's time for some other people's endings. Got more than half. If no one minds, actually, I'm getting a lot of text messages from my family that I need to, like, my father's doing the laundry, and he's like, Penelope, stop your stream, turn it off, you have to put my clothes in the dryer. So if no one minds, I'm gonna go do that. I will be back in like 3 minutes. Okay? Yeah, it's sucky of him, but I'll be right back. Love you. Hi, I'm back. Oh. Hang on. Anyone who comes in for like a brief moment saying something about like cheap viewers or like grow your channel or whatever, that's just spam. Hang on, let me... Just gonna ban that. Right? I'm back. Sorry. Alright, hang on. Alright, I should be back unless I have to do more laundry. Where were we? Okay, underling is almost done. Looks like there's like a little secret achievement there or something. let's see. There's a lot that happens if the Overlord's antisocial. So let's try the Maiden's route antisocial, alright? Or if you have any suggestions, please let me know. Getting more laundry messages. Okay. Let's run this. Polite maiden, but what happens if I just don't set the hero to any of those? Oh, no matter what, we end up antisocial. Okay, let's try diplomatic. Overlord antisocial. Yeah. Main doesn't matter. Let's. What actually happens if we shout for her to come save us? Here does not come, the demon is put off. Okay, and now we talk to them like we planned. Great. The Overlord tells you again that you should get lost. How rude, you just got here. Obedient. Yeah, I'd certainly want to be obedient for the Overlord too, yeah. Refuse to leave. You put your foot down and tell her you're not going. She's blushing! They're both blushing! You still want to fulfill your destiny even if you have to make it happen on your own. She's a little frustrated at your stubbornness, but doesn't kick you out or anything. Hooray! The Overlord shares many stories about demons with you. Refuse to rescue. Allow the two of you to leave, but you give a little wave. You'll be back soon. So the hero came, but everything was fine. About halfway back to the village when you feel something's off. Unable to shake your concern, you look back over your shoulder. You stop in your tracks, the castle is engulfed in flames. You can't return to the village like this, you have to know, you have to be sure everyone is safe. You've already taken off before the hero can even think of stop. Oh no, you scan the fleeing demons, but the Overlord isn't among them. Against your better judgment, you rush into the burning castle to find her. The Overlord dies in the fire. The underling's throat is slain, or the underling dies from the fire in the closet. But also the maiden dies running to find her. You quickly reach the Overlord's room, but the door is shut tight. The handle's too hot to touch. You're too weak to force it open. You pound your fists against the door helplessly. What were you thinking? This is all because you'd forgotten your role. Only a hero could pull this kind of thing off. You start to cough. The smoke is too thick, you can hardly breathe. You realize you haven't got much time left now. You desperately head toward the stairs to save yourself, but the fire spread faster than you expected. You won't make it outside. You can't help but laugh. What a joke, a maiden saving the Overlord. If you just stayed true to your role, things wouldn't have ended like this. This is exactly the kind of punishment you deserve. You let the demon fire cleanse your rotten soul. Oh. Oh, okay. I presume there's another ending. Alright, I'm getting yelled at more about laundry. If you're gonna go, I mean, it's already been 2 hours, I guess. I'll end this here. I'll continue this tomorrow or something. Goodbye. It was nice to have you here. Bye.